What is up? What is up, folks? How's everybody doing this morning? Good to finally be back. I don't know what it is about that gap from Sunday night till Tuesday morning, but it sure does seem like a long time. But we are back, and I seen somebody mention it in the chat earlier, and that is correct. So I'm going to go ahead and cover what I got here, and then our resident attorney, Mr. Greg, will jump on with us because we had the hearing yesterday, and there was definitely a few interesting things that come out in that. And so he's going to jump on, and we're going to talk about that for a few minutes. So, and I think that he will. I don't know for sure. Well, I guess we'll find out when he gets on. But I think he is either going to upload a video or do a live stream later, going into all of it, in more detail. But he is going to jump on with us, and we're going to talk about it for at least for a few here in just a little bit. So let's see who we got in the chat this morning. Keza, good morning. Good to see you. Keza, how are you doing? Penny's in the house. Good to see you. Miss Debbie, hey, how are you doing, Miss Debbie? Always good to see you here. And the super sticker. I guess I got my super stickers back. Thank you very much. Very, very, very kind of you. And I don't know why I really don't know why they go away sometimes, to be honest with you. But I don't know. Like I said, YouTube hates me sometimes. Daisy in the house. How you doing this morning, Daisy? All right, let's see who else we got. We got the Real One Podcast in the chat too. Good morning, Real One Podcast. All right, we got hey Camino, we're glad to see you this morning. Shauna, good to see you. Good morning. Jax, hey buddy, how are you doing? Let's see, we got Henderson. How are you doing this morning, Henderson? Aunt B, got Aunt B. Good morning, good to see you. Lisset, one of our lovely friends from across the pond. How are you doing this morning, Lisset? Or I guess it's probably not morning where you're at, but yeah, it's morning here, so that's what it's got to be. All right, let's see who else we got. Gamer is in the house. Good morning or good afternoon, I guess. Another one of our friends from across the pond. Absolutely love to have the international family up in here. That is just amazing, and that is great. All right, let's see. Looks like that's it for now. I'm assuming more will pile in. They generally do. Hopefully the hall monitor shows up pretty soon. I just sent her a text message. Never the same without Miss Susan, so we'll see. Maybe she might have had a late night for some reason. I don't know, but fingers crossed. Maybe she'll pop in here before long. So that being said, well, look at there. What a way to start off the morning. Daisy, thank you very much. What? So yeah, can you get a what? Daisy, what? Good morning, beautiful people. Thank you very much, Daisy. Already working towards that little goal I set up in there, I see. So thank you. All right. So we are going to cover, and I just look, obviously everything Barron does is great. I watch Barron religiously, but especially with the hearing that we had, I just want to go over a segment of one of his most recent podcasts. The part about Lance Twiggs, it is just absolutely amazing to me. Crazy. We'll get into it. I'm sure a lot of y'all have probably already seen it, but maybe some of you haven't. I don't know, but none of you have heard my take on it. So we will get that rolling here. And you know how it goes. We'll talk about it here and there. So, all right, fire in the hole, guys.
Running out of time. We have a filing that was recently uncovered in the Tyler Robinson case. And right on the front of it, we get all the fireworks. We don't have to dig far through this to find out the big to-do of this and why, in my opinion, this is hugely problematic. Here is the first page of it. Opposition to the defendant's application for certificate for attendance of out-of-state witness. This is the state saying that the court should deny the defendant's application. So what they're saying is the defense is saying, no. You can't just introduce a document that Lance Twiggs signed. You got to bring him in and we get to cross-examine him. And what the state is saying is, no. We're just going to introduce a document. We're not going to bring him in and let you talk to him.
And look, I know hearsay is admittable, especially in like these preliminary hearings. But at the end of the day, it's just, I can't even describe the difference between a recording of somebody set up in a particular place, scripted, not scripted, who knows, coached, not coached, who knows, none of that. And, to get on a video and then to play this video in court, the difference between that and actually having somebody sitting on the stand and then get cross-examined, and everybody can see this person on the stand, can see their whole demeanor, and see how, are they nervous? Are they calm? Do they seem confident? So many different things that you just cannot get out of a video clip. And so to me, it is just, especially with this case, having this kind of public interest and being this big of a, it's just a huge deal, has been from day one. To me, it's just crazy. I don't understand why they are going to let it go, but hey, it is what it is. I don't know. Basic is in the house. Good morning, Basic. Good to see you.
There's a statement Lance Twiggs gave on September 11th, 2025.
Hey, Camino. So real quick. So look, I think there's some really good information in it. One thing that I have said before is that you got to kind of just, when you watch it, you have to realize that what that Unfuck America tour, its sole purpose, I mean, it was created to be, to go against Turning Point. So just double check all your facts and just keep in mind when you watch it that was its original intention. That's why it was designed or why it was created. So there is likely to be a lot of heavy bias in there. That's all I'm saying. When you are, when you put out a documentary, on something that your whole organization was created to go against or destroy, I'd say that there's probably a good chance, maybe some embellishment or some, look, it's really good and seems like it has some really good legit information in it. And yeah, I say check it out, but just always keep in mind that what its intention was for originally. And I think that'll help.
Let me see if I can make this as big as possible for you. September 11th, 2025, just after Tyler Robinson turned himself in, Mr. Twiggs gave a statement to investigators. Great. Is that the statement we're going to see at the preliminary hearing? No, it's not, in fact. Because on April 20th, 2026, and we're going to look at this date in a second and tell you why I think it's problematic. On April 20th, 2026, September to October, November, December, January, February, March, April, 7 months and 9 days later. 7 months and 9 days later. A lot of water can flow under a bridge in 7 months and 9 days.
What's up, 135? Good to see you. Hey, Brett Booth on his way home from work. Good morning, Brett. Brett is the man.
Days. Not a single cell in his body is the same. 7 months and 9 days later. In preparation for the preliminary hearing, Mr. Twiggs gave a recorded statement under oath. After an admonition.
Oh, and I apologize, Basic. Thank you very much for that super chat, and good morning to yourself. Didn't mean to blow past it like that. So, yeah, thank you, and it's good to see you here. Always good to see you here.
That any false statement would be punished by law and could be charged as obstruction of justice. Mr. Twiggs was also given use immunity by the United States Office and the Utah County Attorney's Office, meaning his statements at the April 20 meeting could not be used against him. By way of everybody who's ever watched a cop show knows, when they show up to you, they say you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. If you don't want to say anything, in the United States, we have something called the Fifth Amendment. It's a right against self-incrimination. In other words, if something I say could be used as evidence against me, I don't have to say it. You can't make me.
What the sad thing, the sad thing, Camino, it appears that with this organization in particular, and I mean Turning Point, is that there was one good apple, it seems. That's the sad reality of it. Yeah, usually you say, you know, well, every place has got its bad apple. There's a bad apple everywhere, whatever. But it really seems like in this case that that there was one good apple, and yeah, that one good apple was removed.
Speak in a way that will incriminate myself. I have a right to not do that. You have to collect evidence without my cooperation, in other words, without my testimony. But a lot of times in a criminal case, a prosecution can't meet their burden, their very high burden of convincing a judge or jury beyond a reasonable doubt, a fact finder beyond a reasonable doubt someone committed a crime, unless they give someone immunity, because they have to have some testimony to put you over.
And the bad part about it is, Jax, is, you know, that's what they're claiming, because it helps their narrative. And I'm not arguing that fact. I mean, maybe he is that way. Maybe he's not. Do we really know? I mean, we got one picture of him wearing some kind of goofy ass, you know, hoodie with with ears on it. Okay. Obviously the boy's a little strange, but every other photo I've ever seen of him, he's wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt and got his hair, you know, got long hair. I don't know. Maybe he is like that. Who knows? But I get what you're saying. I mean, yes, it's funny that you know, the public, the perception from the public, their reputation was always a huge consideration, and they would not put certain people on there because of that. And now they are purposely giving this guy a questionable reputation because it works with their narrative, and also they are going to use testimony from this person, a guy that according to them can't decide, doesn't know what gender he is, but yet he is going to be able to keep all the facts of this case that he's you know, telling about. He's going to be able to keep all those straight, true, and accurate. Bullshit.
Way. They can't just show up in court and say, I'm pretty sure he did it. Well, do you have any witnesses? No, no one's going to talk because they're all guilty. No, you can't do that. But if he was given immunity, it means he's committed a crime, or potentially he's committed a crime. What that crime is, they didn't tell us. Maybe we'll be able to tell when we read the immunity, when we read the testimony, we'll be able to tell what the crime was. But he was given immunity to testify. His April 20 statement was consistent with his September 11 statement. Then let's just use the September 11 statement. Why do we need the April 20 statement? Why can't we just use the September 11 statement? Are we going to see the September 11 statement? Do we have a copy of it? Is it going to be produced in evidence? Why did we need a second statement if it was consistent? In the statement, Mr. Twiggs describes several of defendant's statements to him, defendant being Tyler Robinson. So in the statement, I'm assuming the April 20 statement, Mr. Twiggs describes several of the defendant's statements to Mr. Twiggs, that defendant killed Charlie Kirk, that he hid the firearm, that he disposed of his clothing, and that he told Mr. Twiggs not to speak to law enforcement. Most of these statements were through electronic messages from defendant, and one came from a handwritten note. So nothing actually from the mouth of Tyler Robinson is what we're being told.
Nothing.
These intimate lovers who live together, furrily, gaily, these intimate lovers didn't speak about it, even though we've seen text messages that suggested they were together after the fact. That Lance Twiggs did actually go to their shared home while Tyler Robinson was there. That at least were.
Molly, good morning. Good to see you here. Absolutely good to see you here. Yeah, good morning. I believe TPUSA people are starting to get a little nervous now. They didn't expect all this investigation going on. No, they did not, and neither did the feds, neither did anybody, I do believe. It's like I've said before, this is no longer the JFK days. In this day and time, people are fed up with it. They're tired of being lied to. And we have the ability and the means to look into these things. We don't have to take their word for it. And at this point, most people are not going to take their word for it. But yeah, it's good to see you here. I don't remember. Have you been in the chat before? Just in case, though, I will tell you we've got a rule. If you ever pop up in the chat, we expect for you to show up every time after that, at least as much as you possibly can. So hopefully you will follow the rules, and we'll be seeing you here a lot. Best chat on YouTube, I can promise you. These people will make you feel really welcome, and this is just a great place to hang out. You ask anybody in that chat, and they'll tell you that.
Planning to have that happen. In the text messages we saw on the arrest affidavit, on the search warrant affidavit. But these statements came in two forms, according to this April 20 statement. They came from electronic messages, meaning text messages, Discord messages, or from a single handwritten note. And whether or not we still have that handwritten note is yet to be determined. So at the preliminary hearing, the state will offer that April 20th, not the September 11th statement, but the April 20th statement, as well as photographs of defendant's messages, which were found on his phone. And you guys know how easy those are to fake. Have two people text each other, change the contact.
Morning, Elizabeth.
Boom. You've got messages. You can make them say anything you want. So that's what's happening. Why am I fixating on this April 20th date? Why does that bother me so much? Well, a lot happened between September 11th and April 20th.
Here we go.
A lot happened. For example, the Twiggs family purchased a home.
Now, if y'all think back, we have heard not a whole lot, but we have heard a little about the finances. And actually, with both families, with the Robinson family and with the Twiggs family, what we have heard is that there were some financial difficulties. Not saying they were broke, but there were definitely some financial difficulties with both families. So just something good to keep in mind here.
I think we have everything adequately.
Good morning, Kelly. What's up? Good to see you this morning.
Yeah, we do. I think we have everything adequately redacted here. The Twiggs family purchased a home. This is a general warranty deed. We got the grantees here. We've hidden the mailing address. We've got whatever. But that is a home. That's a warranty deed. So that's one thing that happened. That happened in June of 2024. And so we have a home in June of 2024 purchased by warranty deed by the Twiggs family. Well, anything happened after the fact? Yeah. The home.
Texas in the house. Good morning, Regina. Good to see you in the chat. I don't know if you've been in the chat or not, but I was just telling Molly that we got a rule. If you show up once, we expect you to show up every time. And hopefully you will also abide by that rule, and we will be seeing you here a lot. This is the best. This is the best chat on YouTube. I can promise you. These people in here will make you feel really welcome. This is just a good place to hang out. We always have a good time. So, welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see you this morning.
Home that was purchased has now been transferred into a family trust. It's no longer in the names of these people. It's now in a family trust. Here's the specialty warranty deed where the grantors transfer it into a family trust. Okay, that's a little different. So that's 3 months or so after the thing. Is that the only thing they did? No, as a matter of fact, it's not the only thing they did, because shortly before they transferred that into a family trust, they actually bought another home.
And generally, what do we have a family trust for? Yeah. That trust right there is a red flag to me to start with.
So now we're owners of two homes. We've got this warranty deed here, December 4th, 2025.
Good morning, Boomer. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Boomer's in the house, guys.
We've got a new mailing address, but we have a new home that's been added to the family wealth. Okay, so that's 3 months afterwards. Is that the only thing that's happened since September 11th, 2025? No, we actually have a new.
I'll go ahead and just do it right now so I don't forget. So, during the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8 a.m. Central. I don't do Mondays because I've got a sales meeting every Monday morning. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. Central. And then Friday is generally 6 p.m. And then Saturday and or Sunday, just depends. Saturday and or Sunday between 6 and 8. You just got to kind of keep an eye out. You know, it's the weekend, a lot of stuff going on. So, you know, that kind of varies. But yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. Central. Friday night, 6 p.m. Central. Saturday and or Sunday between 6 and 8 o'clock Central p.m. And that's generally when I try to do most of my interviews. And we've got a couple good ones coming up. We got Skerrick Kirk. We are, and I got a couple others that I'm talking to that are going to be coming here in the very near future. So, yeah. Anyway, glad to see you here, and yeah, put that schedule on your refrigerator, on your phone, whatever, and we'll be looking for you.
LLC that's been opened up for the Twiggs family. This is March 5th, 2026.
Awesome, Regina. I'm glad you run across me. I cover Barron. I cover Candace. You know, they do long format, and a lot of people don't have the bandwidth and or time to catch everything. And I know how it is. Sometimes I go back and listen to them a second time, and I can pick details out that I didn't get the first time. And they're so dense generally with both Barron and Candace that I just feel like some of the really important things it's good to bring back out, go over again, and I give my takes. And of course, I cover lots of others too. So
we have Greystone Development LLC, opened in the state of Utah.
Morning, Tony.
Notice the mailing address is in Houston, but the principal office address,
Sleeping Beauty. Good morning, Sleeping Beauty,
is in St. George, Utah. So we've now added a home that's gone from their personal names to a trust. We've got a new
in that trust. Can't trust the trust.
home that's been added. That's two things.
Better late than never. Good morning, Penny. Good morning.
We've got an LLC that's been opened in.
I'm sorry, Sleeping Beauty. Prayers for Sleeping Beauty. Hopefully you get to feeling better. And I'm sure the chat feels exactly the same way.
March. Is that the only thing that's happened after September 11th and before April 20th? No. We actually have yet another company that was opened. Not just Greystone, but this is a company named Red Dirt Empire. Another company that's been opened here by the Twiggs family.
Business is booming.
This one here, Red Dirt Empire Inc., was opened by Jerry, the father, in the city of Houston, and Amy, the mother. And there's another child, and we've actually redacted her first name because it's pretty unique name. It'd be pretty, Jerry and Amy aren't that unique. The kid's name's pretty unique. So we've got Greystone LLC, we got Red Dirt Inc., we've got a new home. We've got a home being transferred into a trust. Is that the only thing that's happened between September 11th and April 20th?
Hell no.
No. No, believe it or not, even more has happened. We also have a charity. This gets to my opening statement.
Not another nonprofit. Say it ain't so. Oh no, the Turning Point model.
We now have a charity that's been opened. From
all this financial stuff that's been coming out about Turning Point, and they thought, well, that must be a good business model.
Twiggs family, for some reason, they're going into the charity business, the Faith and Family Charity, right there, Faith and Family Charity. Jerry Twiggs, Houston, Texas. Jerry, Amy, and sister. Okay, so we have a home being transferred into a trust, a new home purchased. We've got an LLC, an Inc., and a nonprofit opened. We actually have the website of the Faith and Family Foundation if you want to see this fancy charity they've got opened up here. Serving families, strengthening communities, building a generational legacy of compassion. The hell does that mean? The Faith and Family Foundation exists to strengthen families, restore dignity, and empower communities through faith-inspired compassion and hands-on service.
That's a lot of words to not say shit. Like it literally, there is no kind of like he said, what the hell does that mean? It really says nothing at all about what they do, just words.
Our work is inspired by faith, grounded in family, expressed through practical support locally and around the world. Oh,
another worldwide charity. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They doing that international money thing. They doing that international charity work. Oh, God, say it ain't Romania or, anywhere in Eastern Europe.
Oh, are we going to Romania? Are we going to Romania with this charity? Faith and Family Foundation, established by Tyler and Amy Twiggs as an extension of their commitment to faith, family, and responsible stewardship. As business owners and parents, we've seen how protection, hope, and intentional care can change the direction of a family. Foundation exists so our family can serve together across generations, supporting families and communities in a meaningful way while building a lasting legacy of generosity, unity, and care. This operates independently of Red Dirt Insurance and exists solely to serve families and communities for charitable purposes.
You go right ahead. Basic.
We've got pillars. We've got stewardship. You can partner with them. They got a Gmail account opened up. Why would you want such a thing? Again, that was
Why would you want such a thing? I think he knows why you would want such a thing.
was opened up in, when was that open? March, right?
Yeah, the thing about the nonprofits is on the books, financially, they are not allowed to profit, but they are so profitable. And it appears that the executives, the board, CEOs, that they profit heavily off of the air quotes nonprofits. So, if we're going to keep doing nonprofits, we've got to look into going in and completely restructuring the way this thing works. There's going to have to be some major legislation to get these things in check, because there's too many loopholes. There's just too many ways for people to take advantage. And that is exactly what they do.
Yeah, March 9th. All this is happening in March. We've got
I did, Cody. I did. Good stuff, buddy. Good stuff. More to come on that very soon.
An LLC called Greystone Development opening in March. We've got an Inc. called Red Dirt Empire opening in March. We've got a charity called Faith and Family Foundation opening in March. Is that the only thing going on in March before the April 20th statement given by Lance Twiggs? No, believe it or not, it's not the only thing.
Big club. And guess what? We ain't in it.
Because we have yet another LLC being opened up. This one on March 9th. We've covered the name of this because it's identifiable. Something Development LLC. Again, Jerry Twiggs, Amy Twiggs. A lot going on in March in the Twiggs family.
Cody, that doesn't surprise me at all, especially like Dubai. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Is that the only thing? Because we have the house going into a trust, a new house, Greystone LLC, Red Dirt Inc. We've got a charity opening up. We've got LLC number 1 that we had to redact. So we're at 6 items now taking place in the month or so before this. Is that the only thing happening? But bam. There can't possibly. Yeah, there can. We've got yet another LLC being opened up in March of 2026. This is an identifiable name, so we've redacted it, but there's Jerry Twiggs, there's Houston, Texas. Amy Twiggs, Houston, Texas.
No, Tony, there's not. And in the words of the late, great Charlie Kirk, it is the only thing that keeps us free.
What the hell's going on in the Twiggs family all of a sudden?
Seems like there was a sudden infusion of funds, a lot of funds, enough to buy multiple properties, open businesses, and start a nonprofit, one that claims to be worldwide. That's an awful lot of cash.
I can assure you these are not wealthy people, or they were not wealthy people before. I mean, they weren't poor, but they weren't upper middle class. They were just solidly middle class people. Like many people, they had, a lot of title action on their primary residence and not much else going on. Is that the only thing? No, actually, there's yet one more LLC. This one on March 20th. We're up to 8 items, by the way, if you're keeping track at home. Here is item number 8, yet another LLC. We've covered the name of that because of how identifiable it is, but this is March 20th. There's your LLC, Jerry Twiggs, Houston, Texas, Amy Twiggs, Houston, Texas.
Yeah. We're about 20 likes behind, guys. Come on, let's get it.
It's going into the family trust, one of the initial governing people. So you see why I'm a little weirded out by the April 20th statement date. They had 7.5 months.
Look, as Candace had revealed, they had an appointment scheduled for, what was it? September the 15th? Was it the 15th? September the 15th, I believe it was. They were going to make some changes to his will. I mean, what is that about? They're a young family. Everybody's in good health. Everything's going good. What major changes happened or were about to happen? Obviously, that's not a smoking gun, but it does make me believe that there was possibly some marital trouble, and that could have very well been the reason for what they were doing. And yeah, they never made it to that appointment, sadly. Thank you very much, Basic. 7 minutes, 7 stickers to go. Yep, there you go, guys. Come on with it. I appreciate the generosity. Thank y'all very much.
To get a statement from Lance Twiggs. But they don't get the statement in September. That's not the statement they want to use. That's not the statement they want to use. They don't get a statement in October when it's still fresh on his mind. They can say, hey, we didn't.
That to me is the worst part about it. I mean, 7 months later, like they need what he knows right then and there. I mean, that's why they tried to do these interviews immediately. To take a testimony from 7 months later, after his parents have bought and sold, 3 or 4 new properties, opened new businesses, created a worldwide charity, and all of this is beyond suspicious. This is ludicrous. And I cannot believe they're letting it go, but at the same time, I can, because look at how everything else has been going. It's absolutely insanity.
Quite get the statement we wanted out of you. Can you come back?
Hall monitor, what's up, Miss Susan? It's all good. You can go back. You can back it up when we get done. Thank you for showing up. Good to see Miss Susan here. She is the official hall monitor.
Again, let's get another statement. No, not in October. That would be too easy.
Hey, good morning. Let's see. Lynn Spark from Des Moines, Iowa. Woo, you way out there, way out west. I was in Iowa once, and that is the windiest place I've ever been in my life. Out for a solid week. It just blew sideways. Never slowed down. It was just like I had to walk. I had to lean into it when I was walking. crazy. Walk inside of a building or behind something and you about fall over. But anyway, good to see you here. We've got a rule. Anybody that just pops up in the chat for the first time, we expect you to be here every time we go live, or at least as many as possible. So hopefully you will abide by that, and we will be seeing you here a lot. This is the best chat on YouTube. These people in the chat, y'all make them feel very welcome, and I know that y'all will. So yes, very, very, very good place to hang out. Rose Robbins, hey, good to see you. Same thing goes for you. We expect you to be here every time now, or at least if you can, if possible. So, and I promise you, you'll enjoy it. We always have a good time here. This is the best chat, period. Promise you that. Good to see both y'all. Thank y'all very much.
Easy. Mr. Lance, can you come in? Can you come in November? It would only been a couple of months since the big shebang, and we get to while it's fresh on your mind. No. They didn't do it in November. Not over the Thanksgiving holiday, not over Christmas, not over New Year's, not over the Martin Luther King holiday in January, not over Valentine's Day in February, not over.
Right smack dab in the middle of God's country. Yes, I am in Tennessee. I am right in middle Tennessee. Beautiful here. Beautiful, beautiful.
For the spring, whatever it's called, the equinox or whatever. No, not over that. Not over spring break in March. They don't get this statement from him until the 20th of April. And not until the home is put in a trust, a new home is purchased, an LLC.
Hey, it's all good, Henderson.
is opened up in March 5th. An Inc. is opened up on March 6th. A charity is opened up on March 9th. The charity website opens up on March 28th. A LLC number 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it is, opens up on March 9th. And another one opens up on March 9th. And then another company opens up on March 20th. Only then can Lance Twiggs give his statement. Call me skeptical. Call me skeptical. I'm very skeptical.
Extremely skeptical. It's the only way to be. Charlie Kirk was skeptical, was he not? Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very skeptical about all this economic activity.
Dayton, Tennessee. I know exactly where that is.
Taking place. Particularly the charity.
Awesome, Regina. Thank you.
You've got a lot going on.
Oops. Awesome, Regina. Thank you. We got lots of good stuff coming up. I promise you. We got Scare Kirk coming up next. And we have same thing to you, Rose. Absolutely. Thank you. This is an awesome community here. Miami, Florida. Well, look, if you're still looking for a place to go and you haven't decided, always consider Tennessee, Middle Tennessee specifically. A lot of rural out here. It's absolutely beautiful out here where I'm at and love it. So it is definitely God's country.
You guys seem to have a lot going on. Why are you opening a charity the month before your son gives a statement? Now, you know, with a charity, when they take the money in, they don't have to tell anyone where the money came from. It can come from overseas. It can come from a large corporation. It can come from a private individual. It can come from the government. It can come from anywhere. Anyone can put money in that charity. And they can hire themselves. We've looked at some charities on this program where people spend
Jax, I know where Covington's at. Yep, that's amazing. It's a small world.
Upwards of 80+% of the money on salaries for themselves and expenses for themselves. So someone gives you $100,000, you pay yourself $80,000 to run the charity.
Hey, one thing about it too, look, it's kind of like moving to Mexico from the States. You sell your place in Miami, you can come to Tennessee and live like a king or a queen, either one. You can live good over here. You sell your place in Miami, you take that money, you can buy a nice place up here. I can promise you that.
You spend 20 on charitable purposes and boom, you've done yourself a good job. all on the up and up too. It's all legal. Anybody comes in and asks you about it, you say, "Oh yeah, we opened a charity and so ran it." We're just out here serving the public.
Cody, too kind, too kind. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have to get back to work, so I can't stay much longer. I was just curious to know what your friend thought about the information. Yes, I'm going to give you a holler on that, buddy. We've been looking through all that. He was definitely intrigued too, so I definitely going to be reaching out to you on that so we can talk about that some more. Thank you, Cody. Thank you very much.
We're just out here serving the public, sir. Spreading the family message around the globe. Maybe they give you $500,000. Well, you got to hire the daughter. You got to hire the dad. You got to hire the mom. You got to have your travel expenses. You got to have office space. Got to lease that out of your own home. Just a lot going on. A lot going on. And I don't know that I would worry about it as much if Lance Twiggs' statement from September 11th was the one being used.
Whoop, whoop, another Tennessee in the house. Good morning, sister. How are you doing? Good to see you here. While I got it paused, I'm going to let you know, just like all the others, we've got a rule about new people that pop in the chat for the first time. If you pop in the chat for the first time, we expect you to try to pop into all of the lives that we have. Really, really good to see you here. We hope that you'll follow the rule there, and that we'll be seeing you here a lot. Best chat on YouTube. I can promise you these people will make you feel really welcome. And this is a good community here. I can promise you that. I'm not even going to say anything about me or the content or anything else. The community itself alone is worth it. So thank you for showing up. And yeah, you're not too far from me. All right, let's see. Well, we got another one. Eric, good to see you. Good to see you. Springfield, Tennessee. Got lots of Tennessee in the house. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Tennessee going to be taking over the chat. Tennessee going to take over the chat. I guess you just heard me talk about the rules, so I won't repeat it. But hopefully we'll be seeing you in here a lot more too. So yes, very, very, and we've got a lot of good, exciting things coming up. I generally do some interviews on the weekends. I got Scare Kirk coming up, but I've also got some others that I'm working on. Got some that have been here before that everybody really loved, and got some new ones coming. So thank y'all for showing up.
Used. But there's something that obviously they didn't get out of the September 11th statement from him that they need, or they feel like they need. And now that they're 7, 8, 9 months into this thing.
What's up, Reginator?
They say, "Oh my gosh, we need you to say this also." Oh, I got a charity opened up. I don't know. I mean, I'm not suggesting that's what happened. Well, I guess I sort of am. I guess I sort of am suggesting that might be what happened. But I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. So chew on that, Lance Twiggs fans. Chew on that, Fed sloppers. Because I honestly do not have a clue what you guys are talking about. Now, I want to play one more quick clip. This is weird. You guys know.
So property values are nowhere near what they are in South Florida, especially Miami for sure. So just real estate in general is going to be much less than it would be somewhere like that, and a lot of other places around, the country. But besides that, we don't have a state income tax, which is lovely. Our sales tax ain't the best for sure. I think our state tax is like our state sales tax. I want to say it's like 9% maybe. It is one of the higher ones, but we don't have a state income tax, so that is a plus. But generally, cost of living is just a whole lot less here than it is in a lot of other places. So, and like I said, it's beautiful. You're a couple hours from the country music capital of the world. If you're in Middle Tennessee, and yeah, there's a whole lot of other perks.
Know about Dan Bongina. Actually, I have one more thing I want to play after this. It's a follow-up to the Stu Peters story I gave last night with Blake Neff.
Rose, thank you very much, and absolutely, yes, you're welcome. You're welcome for a awesome welcome, and we're glad you're here. We really are. So yes, thank you for joining the community here.
So there's one more thing I want to do. You guys remember Dan Bongina? Dan Bongina gives one of the eeriest 40 seconds in podcast history today. I just want to play it, let you listen to it, and we'll talk about it in mere moments.
The closer you get to God, the harder the devil works on you. Well, the devil's working overtime now. He's cashing in that OT check, probably spreading the wealth around too.
I'll tell you what.
Folks,
Hey, Kay Kirkland, I did not even notice. Okay, I'm sorry. I almost passed by you. And good to see you here. I'm assuming you heard the rules, so hopefully you'll be in here more now. Go ahead and subscribe, and we got a bunch of awesome things coming up. This is awesome chat, awesome community. So look, Mississippi, yeah, look, it's okay. I'm not a huge fan, and look, maybe it's just because I'm biased. I mean, everybody in my family, on both sides of my family, are from Tennessee. So I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. Kentucky is nice. But one thing I always say about Kentucky is that most people in Kentucky are really confused. They are far enough north that they're kind of confused. A lot of them don't know whether they're rednecks or whether they're Yankees. So you got to mix. You come to Tennessee, it's full on redneck for the most part. You go to Kentucky, it's just like a combination of both. So I don't know. Kentucky's nice. Kentucky has a lot of roads that are really rough. Kentucky's famous for their curvy back roads and mountainy, just no guardrail type of stuff. You'll have to go check it out. It's nice. It is nice. But I'm biased. I can't, it is what it is. I love Tennessee.
something else is going to happen. If this is the last show I do, or Erica, or anyone else, I just want it on the record that I was on.
Kind of creepy.
I was on the right side of this. And by the right side, I don't elevate myself or my character above you or anyone else. I just mean like the non-demon side.
The hell's Dan Bongina talking about?
Bongina.
Something else is going to happen. And if this is the last show I do, or Erica Kirk? You talking about Erica Kirk?
Come on, y'all. Yeehaw.
If this is the last show, what's going to happen, Dan?
I don't know what he's talking about. I was going to ask y'all, chat. What do y'all think? What do you think? I mean, no, I don't think anybody really knows. No explanation. I mean, we haven't really heard anything from him other than that, that I know of. Any kind of explanation. It's really cryptic, kind of freaky. He's just, I don't know, but he's lost it lately. All the quote unquote doomers and black pillars that he keeps talking about, they've just, they drove him completely crazy, I guess. I don't know.
What are we supposed to take from that? What are we supposed to understand from that?
Good luck. Go get that smile brightened up, Henderson. Good to see you here this morning. Thank you for popping in with us.
What are we supposed to understand from that? All right. I want to play because Stu Peters, I mentioned yesterday that Tuesday that Blake.
You never know. We might have to do that. I've noticed a lot of people, especially on Rumble, doing these members meetups. I've been thinking about that. We'll have to see how that goes. But hey, there's not a better place to do it than somewhere out here in Tennessee. I can promise you that.
Neff had worked for Stu Peters, and I had a few people that were like, "I don't believe you," because Stu would have said something. I don't know why he didn't. That doesn't mean it's not true. I was solid with my reporting. I had two sources. I was not going to just accept that my sources were wrong. Typically, if you have two independent sources, you can report something. I typically don't report things with one source. I've done it, but I don't like to. So I reported that Blake Neff worked for Stu Peters. Stu Peters after the show, put a 44-second clip of me saying that, and then said this in response. Blake Neff was hired as a contributing writer for the Stu Peters Network after Fox fired him.
Confirmed. It is confirmed.
Now he's at TPUSA defending Israel in the official Charlie Kirk story. Great writer, but super weird and an ideological whore who flips for money and access. Ask Neff why he switched.
Yeah, speaking of which, I tell you what, that's about what I wanted to cover here with the Baron, with Baron. Speaking of which, Greg is fixing to pop in. I was just talking to him. So in the meantime, we will, let's pull up a little bit of that comedy, that Brandon Tatum wisdom / comedy / complete and utter ignorance. What a jackass. I know y'all probably all seen this clip many times by now. But I just gotta, it was just so rich. It just so rich. Let's see here. Okay, where is it? All right, here we go. Y'all get ready for y'all's brains to start hurting a little bit.
Who was out here lying, you're going to be embarrassed and you're going to be shamed, and I'm not going to hold back.
Charlie Kirk's accused assassin, Tyler Robinson, Tyler Robinson's roommate, Lance Twiggs, has been granted limited immunity to testify.
We knew that he was aware of some of the plans, but it sounds like he may have had much more information shared with him by Tyler Robinson of what Tyler Robinson planned to do, and I expect him to be a key witness for the prosecution.
Y'all need to go to...
Good morning, Stacy. How are you doing? Good to see you here. Don't know if you've been here before. If you have not, we've got a rule that people that pop in, we expect new people to start showing up every time we go live. So hopefully you'll abide by that, and we'll be seeing you a lot more. This is definitely the best chat on YouTube. This is a great community. Everybody make her feel welcome, and I can promise you, not even talking about any content or me or anything else, just the community itself is well worth it. So make sure you subscribe, and yeah, we're here usually 5 days a week, so we'll be looking forward to you hanging out. Oh, look, I tell you what, y'all guys, sorry, we're not going to be able to finish the Tatum clip, it looks like, because we have Mr. Greg in the house.
What up, man?
There he is. What's up, Greg?
You can finish Officer Tatum, even though I'm kind of tired of listening to his bullshit.
Yeah, no, it's all right. If I really go through that, I could turn that clip into an hour. So I probably just need to do a whole nother show on that. So anyway,
I keep thinking back to it. And Barron last night talked about the Fed sloppers, and everything he said is so true. It's like, how could somebody, especially somebody young, relatively young, has a longer career, sacrifice all their credibility like that?
All of it. I tell you what, it's like you said, he is a gem to them. Like he checks all the boxes. And obviously he's willing to say what needs to be said. So yeah, he's definitely an asset, and I don't necessarily mean that technically, but he's an asset to somebody for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I have a hard time. I've been thinking about it all morning too. It's just, I don't think, and not saying Barron's the most credible, competent, smartest person in the world. I mean, I certainly think he is very smart and competent. I consider myself and you to be. It's just how, if we're all reading this one way, and I'm not saying everybody has to agree and assess the facts, the way we do per se, but it just seems to me that there's just not a lot of room for interpretation on a lot of this stuff. And, yet these people are coming out this other way. I've tried to line it up in my mind with why that is. I mean, are they really just not clicking up here, or is they're getting juiced in the back pocket, something in between? Like, I just don't know. And, I'll say this last, it's like with what happened in 07 with that E-team files in, in Palm Beach, you can't never say anymore that people would never do this or that,
Right.
or what their reasoning is going to be.
Right. And look, hold that thought real quick.
Yeah.
But I figured real quick, I wanted to pull this up here. Let's see. I know that you've got a little insight into this particular issue. This is a chat that I just went past. I seen. Hey, Shauna, you're probably at the right place. I have to say, me and Greg have had conversations about this. We both had our issues over the years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh man, yeah, for sure.
And in fact, Greg has actually gone kind of into this a little bit on his channel too. So hopefully somebody in the chat can also help you out there. And for sure, you've always got a place here. And yeah, you need to follow Greg. And yeah, anything you ever need from either one of us, I mean, we're always there.
Yeah, Sean, I have an email too. It's you can see it on my. It's in I can't type it in. I'm on my phone right now, but it's in Theogenic. Yeah, in theogenic@gmail.com. Feel free to shoot me an email. I can either link you up with somebody. There's a lot of good recovery channels that I've found on YouTube, and like Adam said, we have quite a few people in our community that are in recovery and been down that road, and so showing back up to live streams, participating in the chat, and letting people know. I'm almost sure you'll find support within our community. Absolutely.
Yep. And absolutely. You've got my email address and you're fixing to have his. So, yeah, reach out. Absolutely. That's what this is about. This is about the community. Something I never would have, let's see, make sure I spell this right. ENTHEOGENIC.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Esquire, right. ESQUIRE@gmail.com. You did good, Adam. Dude, a lot of people have tons of difficulty with it. It's weird. It's one of those words that in certain circles and in my professional life, like everybody kind of knows it familiar, but then like you kind of get out of it and people are so. But hey, you did a good job. Fine job, man.
Good deal. I'm sharper than your average bear. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. What do you got for us? What are we going to chat about?
Yeah, well, I was going to, obviously I think the two main things are the orders that came out from the court yesterday. One of them obviously relating to the 1102 hearsay statements of Lance Twiggs. Well, really the defense filed a motion to really attack the 1102. And just so everybody's aware, we're talking about Article 1, Section 12 of the Utah Constitution, and then their rule of evidence 1102 allow for what's called reliable hearsay to be entered at these preliminary hearings in criminal matters. And what they were seeking to, for judge to declare it unconstitutional. That's set up unconstitutional on several different federal constitutional grounds. He denied to do it. But really, the main thing they were attacking was these statements of Lance Twiggs that were, apparently there's two now, that were given to the police, allegedly under oath, all that stuff. Granted, but out of court statements made by Lance Twiggs to police officers that have apparently been recorded, seeking to introduce those at this preliminary hearing, for the truth of the matter asserted, therein, that makes them hearsay when Lance Twiggs is otherwise available, meaning that he could be made available to come testify. And then that kind of bleeds into the second order that judge rendered yesterday, and that was, and again, this is just the defense trying to cover their basis because it's a capital case. They also filed a motion to subpoena Lance Twiggs as an out-of-state witness to come and testify. So that way on appeal, the appellate courts will see that the defense did absolutely
They
everything
did
they
everything
could.
that yeah.
Yeah, no stone unturned trying to get Lance Twiggs in there to cross-examine him. Obviously, Judge denied them on both grounds.
Yeah.
And then I'll just say this real quick. It's crazy. A lot of people, and I was under the impression yesterday that Judge was going to rule upon the motion that they filed to hold them in contempt, the state in contempt for the statements made to the media. However, because there were additional briefs filed, I think like late last week, Judge was not able to get his full order together. He's wanting to make sure that he covers all the arguments and briefs and stuff. And so I think it's going to be this Friday before we get an order on that. And obviously, what's up for grabs there is the defense is asking more or less that the death penalty be taken off the table because of the prosecutor's, in my opinion, anyways, highly prejudicial statements.
I was going
in
to
the
ask you
media.
about that. So do you think if they were to take the death penalty off the table, and I understand at face value, this sounds like a dumb question, but if they take the death penalty off the table, do you think that helps or hurts Tyler and his case?
Well, I think it helps. That's a good question. I haven't really thought about it. I've just been under the assumption naturally that it helps his case. I mean, that they
On
take
the
that
face
off the
value,
table.
yes, but I just keep
Yeah.
wondering if they take the death penalty off there, is a jury more likely to convict him on it with less? Oops, what happened? We lost Greg. He'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back. Man,
You there?
this is
Sorry about that. I
very-
had a call coming. I'm on my phone.
Okay.
You there?
It's all good. Yeah. I don't think StreamYard lets you block calls. But anyway, so on its face, yes, I agree. It seems like it would be a good thing. But I always wonder, would a jury be more likely to convict him with less evidence, to a life sentence than?
Hold on, I can't hear you.
Oh, how about now?
Talk real quick.
Hey,
Let me get out and come in real quick. Hold on.
all right. We'll be right with you guys. All right, you hear me?
All right, now I can hear you again. Sorry about that. I had a
Sweet.
call come in. It knocked
It's all
everything
good.
off.
It's all good. But yeah,
me
you
say-
see what I'm saying? You think, it seems like they
no,
might be-
I do hear what you're saying, but Barron spoke on this last night, and I tend to agree. Is that because if they take the death penalty off the table, that means that these attorneys, who I think they're very competent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a side issue whether they're in on site, whatever. But
right.
they'll actually be able to then transition and dedicate more of their time and resources to the guilt or innocence
Instead
part
of
of this,
just
right?
the death penalty part.
Well, yeah. So, and again, we don't really see or understand a lot of that now or be aware of it, but there's still a lot of what they're doing is also going towards this mitigation issues, right? Like if he
Right.
gets convicted, he's a good person. He didn't mean to do it in this way type stuff. And so if the death penalty comes off the table, they'll be able to take that time and resources and competency that they're, aiming towards the guilt or innocence part of it.
Right.
But yeah, I get what you're saying too, that the people might be more inclined to convict him of the underlying charge because they think, well, in the back recesses of their conscience, they might think, well, if we don't get, if we do get that wrong, at least he's not gonna, be put to death. Or,
I just know the subconscious can be pretty,
Yeah. and we know,
persuasive.
and we know too that like a lot of times, even if people get life sentences, they can still get parole later,
Right.
20, 30 years down the road in many cases. So
Just seems like it would be more likely.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to discount that perspective. Not at all.
Again, death penalty being off the table, I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, can't be a bad thing.
Yeah,
Any day.
and I think my perspective on this has always been that, amongst other reasons why they sought the death penalty, because I think ultimately, in my opinion, it's really not a very strong death penalty case in the sense, and other legal experts have said this, because it was a single shot rifle, allegedly, right? Allegedly, a single shot rifle shot directly at him. How close it even came to other people, we would have to like really line that out, but it doesn't, it doesn't seem that in the normal sense of those types of cases that he did
That it should
something
have
that
been.
just endangered
Yeah.
a shit ton of people.
Look,
Right?
I think when you had a huge conservative political figure, and in most conservative circles, the death penalty is really popular. And I think that it's definitely got its place. But regardless, so in these, you had a really high profile conservative political figure is killed in public, and I don't think they could have, in any way expected the type of public, not just interest, but public, pushback and all of this that has gone on. So I think that they probably expected the public to be on board with the death penalty and have all the support in the world, and that's
Yeah.
not really the way it's gone for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I think another reason, right, is, and I've said this before, that they chose the death penalty because they had more control over who his lawyer's going to be. They have control over the amount of resources that those lawyers have, what experts they're able to hire, right? Because they have to like get it approved to hire an expert, right? Anytime you're like have court appointed counsel, and obviously in death penalty cases, they're more freely going to give the money to hire experts and stuff. But, in other run of the mill cases, they're very selective over whether they'll even let you get an expert, and if so, which ones. And that goes to a good point too. Yesterday, the defense mentioned that they have 7 experts that they are wanting to bring into the preliminary hearing to testify. And they didn't go, say specifically like what points that they're going to be testifying to, but they did say that they're going to try to get these 7 experts in. I think judge within the next week is going to take up objections and rule upon that. So I say that to say that I do think that they are going to do the best that they can showing up to this hearing to contest the probable cause. And I guess that kind of rolls into back to where we're at with like the 11-2 thing.
Yeah,
And Barron, I agree with Barron. Yeah, I didn't expect the judge to rule in favor of them. Most of the arguments they made are what we call novel arguments, meaning that, and I thought they were good arguments, but these are things that like these are arguments that appellate courts have never addressed before. And I think they were great and reasonable arguments, but obviously this is like a kind of a firm, long standing in a sense, set up in the Utah system.
Yep.
And judge basically said 2 major things. He said, one, the nature of the proceeding is simple probable cause. It's not guilt or innocence. And then one other thing he said is that, within their motion, they argued that the setup of this reliable hearsay usurped judges' ability to play gatekeeper with evidence. And, because that's one of judges' major functions is the evidentiary, balls and strikes. Admit this, not admit this, is credible, not credible. And judge didn't elaborate in his oral opinion yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to read the full opinion, but he said that no, it does not totally usurp the judge's function, at least in the sense that judge ultimately makes the call whether the evidence presented in the form it's presented is sufficient to, prove up probable cause. And so in that, even though this comes in as reliable hearsay, it doesn't take away his ability to assess that in the total scheme of, does this prove up probable cause? And so, and all that, I said, okay, well, that's good. And at least his mind is thinking that way, because and I was going to, let me bleed into this, I think the best way without Lance Twigg showing up to be able to cross-examine Brian Davis, who is the Utah Bureau of Investigation's law enforcement official who drafted the probable cause statement.
Mhm.
I think going in on him with a hard cross examination is going to be probably one of the major pillars of attacking the Discord text message. And ultimately, right, that'll bleed into Lance's statement, right? Because if they can show, because Brian Davis, if we think back up to the probable cause statement that was filed, he mixes up in there, you know, he basically says what's now denoted as text messages sent between them.
Yeah.
He says they're Discord statements, right? And then, you know, the day after that came out, that's when the Discord chief technical officer, whoever it was, said, no, you know, this was not really used in that way. There were no messages like this. And that's when we got to the information, the indictment. That's when they magically became text messages between them two, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I think attacking him on that and throwing serious doubts as to the authenticity of those messages through the officer who originally reported them in the probable cause statement, right? We're talking about the actual probable cause statement misstates, according to the state's own subsequent pleading, misstates the nature or the origins, might I say, of that evidence. And so I think really making that one of the main pillars of attack, you can, you know, sidestep some of the, I think, unfairness. I think it's inherently unfair that they're not able to have Lance Twiggs come in and be cross-examined.
Cross-examination, I mean.
Yeah. So I think that's probably one of the main methods of attack outside of being able to cross-examine him, is really going into the Brian Davis and then bringing in a lot of the media reports, right? Because a lot of the stuff they said in the media goes to clearly contradict the stuff too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, and that's one thing, you know, we've had Echo on a few times, and you know, that's generally when he was on Gary's show and they were, you know, air quotes, debating this whole thing. That was what he mainly addressed, was the inconsistencies in the court filings, you know. So
yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah. And you know, like I say, this is a capital case, man. Like, look, they need to be consistent and on point every criminal case, right? We're talking about people's freedom, and in this case, people's lives. And so we really shouldn't show any mercy to an excuse like, oh, it was a simple clerical error, or, oh, we just got it mixed up. No, I mean, we really shouldn't accept that, especially in a capital case, and especially in this system, right? And I hope a lot of people see how inherently unfair, because this system in Utah is mirrored, I think, in 30 or 40 states, something similar setup with this reliable hearsay nonsense. Y'all can see, I mean, how inherently unfair that is.
It leans against the defendant. I mean, you know,
and in a way, it promotes and encourages, at least implicitly, lack of integrity for you know, for the, it's because, and let's think about this too, ladies and gentlemen, is that most criminal cases plea out, right? Most criminal cases plea out. So that means beyond this probable cause hearing, most cases will never actually go to trial to truly test these things and put these people under cross-examination. Okay. And now I think we'd be foolish not to understand that the prosecutors and law enforcement officers, they surely know that. Know that. So when it comes to perhaps fudging a little bit or exaggerating a little bit or having a witness add a couple little details or this or that when it's not the truth, to think that it doesn't, you know, that in the back of their mind, they don't think, you know, hey, we'll probably never have to go up there and answer to this, you know. They're criminals anyways.
Right?
Yeah, they're criminals anyways.
Death penalty on there. Let's throw that death penalty on there. Let's get a plea deal and, you know.
Yeah.
Not ever have to prove this case out, you know?
Yeah, I've seen it in my practice in drug cases, right? Because, you know, in the federal system, drug penalties are very, very harsh. And the more weight and purity of the drugs that come out of the lab test, right? Well, the higher that the potential penalty is going to be. Okay, so I think you can already see where that's going, is that coming out, and not only that, hiring a real expert to contradict a lab report is very expensive, and it's not something that your federal public defender is in most cases going to be able to get the system to provide the money for, right? So just by way of example, this bleeds through our criminal justice system. And I mean, to say it's systemic, I don't know that 100%, but in my experience in life as an attorney and otherwise, like, yeah, it seems to be pretty systemic, and I think we're seeing some of that here.
Yeah, definitely. Utah for sure has definitely got it's strange in a lot of ways. I don't know if you caught Barron yesterday, but he was talking about how a lot of laws that were just passed recently, some of them, making it illegal to share certain, like it's crazy, super secretive state there. And, but we're getting an example. It's out here in the public. Everybody's scrutinizing everything.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people, we don't know how many other states honestly have the same, do it the same way until something like this, comes up. So,
Let me say this about that. And I'm going to go research this, but back when I first kind of started my channel, I had found out that prior to this going down, not too long before, they're actually sought to change the death penalty statute in regards to making it much more difficult for criminal defendants to win appeals. Okay, on under the death penalty. I think the same legislature lady who got this bill passed, introduced, and got that bill passed was the same one who did that. I don't know that for a fact. I'm going to go back and check it out. But I think she was also the exact same one.
Probably.
And just so everybody's aware, this was a change to the death penalty statute introduced, I think, by this lady who's a Republican. And just so everybody knows, like 2 or 3 years before, the Republicans in Utah were trying to abolish the death penalty, right? So there's like this complete 180 switch right before the Charlie Kirk incident, and I think it's the same. And I'll check to make sure, so don't quote me on this. But I think it's the same lady who Barron was talking about last night. And again, it's this medical report and pictures attached to it.
Yeah, that was interesting. I noticed. I don't. Did you watch the whole thing? He was quoting your. He was quoting your dude.
I did, Chris Frill.
Yep.
Yeah, and I made
Chris
a post
Frill.
today on X, shouting out Chris Frill. Man, he's done incredible work, and he deserves all the kudos because I can just tell you, I've known this whole time that there's all this mix up in the media, but just the thought of the daunting task of like going through Google and digging all that up and then comparing it. It can get very confusing and all that, but he just has done an incredible job. I think he's written over 20 papers, man, just like cutting up the Fed slop narrative and how they've contradicted themselves, how the pleadings have contradicted what's been said in the media from other facts we know. He's done incredible work. I can't, for anyone who's just interested in really understanding what we call the Fed slop narrative and why we call it the Fed slop narrative, his work on academia.edu, you're not going to get a better source, in my opinion.
No. He tears the whole thing apart. And I don't know, maybe he's mentioned it before, but I do know Barron specifically last night mentioned the fact that these things were evolving. And, I know that is a big, that's a major, that Chris goes into that in detail, how these things have been evolving. And they have, I mean.
And I'm hoping, like I've said, I do believe that these text, quote unquote, Discord messages are a cornerstone of the state's case. I don't think, I certainly think Judge is going to find probable cause to bind Tyler over for trial, but I'm not going to say 100%. I think that if based upon what I read in Chris Frill's stuff, if the defense really, really gets it together and shows up ready to point out all those inconsistencies in the story, that Judge very well might think that, like, wow, if all this seemingly lacks authenticity, and well, what about all this other evidence, right?
Well,
and
look, obviously it doesn't appear that the rifle is going to be the cornerstone of their case. It doesn't appear that DNA is going to be the cornerstone of the case.
No.
If they can't tie not just the rifle, the only way to actually literally tie the rifle to the crime is to tie the projectile, from the rifle to Charlie, and then tie the rifle to Tyler. Now, because he owned it doesn't mean that he shot it.
That's right. That's right.
But hopefully, hopefully the defense is going to go into a lot of the stuff that we've gone into. You've got the whole safety issue. There's a bunch of
Yeah.
different issues. The
Yeah.
ATF report, in and of itself, to me, should be enough. But yeah, obviously those aren't the cornerstone. So I mean, I wonder what their cornerstone is. Maybe it
I'm
is
telling
these
you,
messages.
I think it's the messages. And, I get and again, it's just my gut feeling is that this second statement of Lance Twiggs that's made 7 months later or whatever, I can almost guarantee you, again, I don't know this for a fact. I almost guarantee you that they did that to go back and try to correct and rectify in regards to these messages and Discord, all the stuff we've been pointing out. And I'll say this, I thought about this right before we came on, we don't know this for a fact, but Barron has shown where somehow it seems the Twiggs family has come across some grip.
That's exactly what
and,
I was just going over. Yep.
and I'm
They've got
thinking,
3 or 4 properties, a business,
yeah,
a worldwide, according to them, charity,
yeah,
a nonprofit.
yeah.
Like, come on.
I'm thinking this. I'm thinking that this, and again, I don't know this for a fact. It's my opinion, my perspective. The money is because what they want Lance to say most definitely is nothing that he invented himself or like literally they're putting the words in his mouth for him and, making him go and make a statement, sign a statement that they literally made up for him. And just the egregiousness of that and to overcome any moral objection that he might have, I think that they grease that over, smooth that over. Again, I don't know that for a fact, ladies and gentlemen, so please don't quote me on that. Just my initial thoughts and gut feeling whenever Barron started discussing that's exactly what it is.
I about guarantee it. Tony Wilson, just in case you have not kept up with this part of it. So yes, a second statement from Lance Twiggs. He gave a
7
statement
months,
immediately. Yeah, he gave a statement immediately after. And that's part of what the purpose of the hearing was yesterday. But then they got another statement from him 7 months later, and they're wanting to use, in March, what they're wanting to use is in the preliminary hearing is not the original statement that he made, but the statement later after the multiple properties bought and sold, the new business, the new nonprofit, all from Lance's family. So very, very sus to say the least.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because and also too, I've thought about this. Them, again, not saying this fact or whatever, but just hypothetically, if the people behind this, government, whatever, gave the money to Lance's family, it's not totally clear whether at trial the defense lawyers could bring that up cross-examining him. Do you see what I mean? So and now they could potentially subpoena his parents, right? And again, there would be a battle. They would be like, this isn't relevant. There's no way that, because the defense would need to present some kind of proof that those things are kind of connected. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they'd be able to even get judge to allow them to go into that line of inquiry.
Right.
With Lance, at least, right?
Yeah.
So, I can see at least the attempted workarounds here, just in my opinion, perspective.
Yeah. And I mean, look, it's sad, but true. I mean, like we were talking about, I think the last time we did one of these Friday night, for the most part, for your prosecutors, I mean, it's about a, another whatever, another mark on the wall, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just another on the belt, another one under the belt. Like, I mean, like, it's about a win. It's about that conviction rate. I mean, a lot of times it doesn't have anything to do with serving justice. It's all about winning the case. It
really is. I'm serious. And I know that sounds heinous, but
it is though. It's the truth. It's crazy. Are you planning on going live here in a little bit? I told them I didn't want to speak for you, but that you had mentioned you might be either uploading a video or going live here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to upload a video this afternoon. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
I told him we'd touch on it. We'd talk about it a little bit, and then you were probably going to do something else in here in a little
Yeah.
while, so
Yeah.
on it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy stuff. I didn't expect, like I said, I didn't expect him to rule in favor of the defense either. But it is what it is. I think that I don't know. Like I said, the Lance thing just still blows my mind. I mean,
Mhm.
all of the stuff that's publicly available about his
Mhm.
family, all the money that they've somehow fell into in the last few months is just odd timing.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right about that. And I can tell you this too, Barron is an attorney. He has access to what's called LexisNexis. I've talked about it before, like the
Yeah,
LexisNexis people search.
yeah,
And through that system, you can really figure out someone's financial condition, right? You can figure
right.
out what homes do they own, who's got, liens on this or that. And I promise you, he's tracked it, right? He's
Yeah,
tracked
yeah.
it. So I just imagine that when he says that their financial conditions dramatically changed, that like he's not making that up out of thin air.
No, no,
He's
no.
definitely looked into it.
There we go. Kirkland. That's the truth. Not a one of us could just have money rain down on us.
Yeah, no, no, none of us who are really, it's a sad world we live in, man. I'm just telling you, like people who are really out here motivated to do good and try to serve and stuff. It's much rarer, I guess, if that's a proper statement, that stuff like that happens to people like us, unfortunately, but still have to fight the good fight. And
People that work have to work for anything they get. The other ones,
yeah,
somehow or another,
yeah,
it seems like it gets set in their lap.
yeah, because you got to think, if it's true that like Lance is literally signing on to things that the government made up to wrongfully convict a person and put them to death. I mean, just think about, I mean, for me, that's just morally in the toilet, right? In the toilet.
Yeah. I mean,
So you're
and
getting compensated for something like that. I mean, yeah.
look, I mean, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be as direct as, okay, we know this isn't true, but you're going to say this anyway. Okay, like I said, it doesn't have to be that direct, but just, okay, look, Lance, here is what our investigation has borne
Yeah,
out. This,
exactly.
that, and the other.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
sure that you're remembering it correctly? Or could it
That's
be,
right. That's right. That's right.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, I'm not sure. And again, this would be something to be very interesting to be privy, a fly on the wall to those conversations and
right.
all that.
Yeah.
But
Sad thing is
again,
we'll never,
we probably
yeah,
will never know.
no,
I mean, I surely hope that I hope Tyler Robinson gets acquitted to the extent that he was not involved in,
right.
what they're saying he was involved in. But two, if
Hope he
that's
gets
true,
acquitted on this. Now, if they bring the other charges later, that's different.
yeah, yeah. For whatever his involvement was, I hope that he
Yeah, yeah.
definitely does. But I hope anybody who was
And I feel
anyway
like he was involved in some point. It's in some way. I feel like he was involved. I don't think he was just
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Even if it was just them having him show up during that certain time to,
Yeah.
foreknowledge that it was going to go on, right? If he had any foreknowledge that this was going to go down,
Yep.
right?
And he can pay for that, and I'm fine with that.
Then pay for that, right? But if it's one of the situations where they just like had something over his head, something unrelated, and like duped him to be up there at that time, well, then no. I mean, I hope whoever did that to him serves that time, right?
Yep. Yep.
But
Yeah.
then again,
And
I hope we do find out. I hope we do. Hope we do.
hopefully so. One interesting thing, and I'm not trying to. We'll go into. I'm going to go into this a little bit more later, but something
Yeah.
I had never thought of. But there is another YouTube creator. She's fairly new. Anna Escobar is her name, or Anna Escobar.
Okay.
She did a video last night, and I had never really thought about it. But those microphones do come in packs of 2, and so if you had. Okay, and this is something I've never considered either, but you had the one, his handheld was for the speakers, for the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then he had the wireless Rode microphone, which was, according to them, for the live feed, right? Back to wherever it was going. That has not yet been determined. But for the live feed, for the footage, he had on that wireless microphone. That's what that was for. Okay. Now, if what's his Hunter Kozak, when they're having the conversation, he's got his handheld mic. If he didn't also have on one of those wireless Rode microphones, the other half of the conversation would be missing from the live feed. So there had to be two microphones, correct? Two of those.
because those microphones too were really what I say, like, since it's like it doesn't pick up background noise very well at all, right?
That's
So
what
they
I'm saying.
wouldn't have, his mic wouldn't have picked up necessarily anything coming through those loudspeakers. It would
exactly.
need to have been,
and it would have sounded like shit if it did. So for the live feed that they were clipping up and supposedly clipping up and putting videos out online with, Hunter Kozak would also have to have had one of those wireless microphones on specifically for that feed, in addition to the handheld for the crowd. So that in and of itself is something I'd never really thought about and is strange. Now, that being said, if there were two there, which there should have been anyway, that particular microphone, like you can see that it's a set of two, and Bay Sam Parker on X shows both of them, but regardless. So that being said, there's two of them. If they rigged one of them, then that's a 50-50 chance whether he gets it or not, right? You got to keep track of which one is which and put the right one on him. So in that case, were they both rigged? And if they were both rigged, where is the other one that didn't explode? So I don't know. Interesting. Never really thought about that before, but I'm definitely thinking about it now. So
yeah, no, it does. I mean, because
I doubt it's laying around in a drawer at Turning Point, but
yeah, well, especially in the universe where there's different competing theories going on, right? With the information that we have access to, we kind of just have to deduce with what we have going on. And I think that if that's correct, that, and I think it is, there should have been a second one, right? So if in fact Hunter didn't have that second one, which I don't think, I didn't see them clip it on him. I definitely didn't see one on his shirt. I mean, we can definitely go back and look.
But there's no way he would have been heard on that feed if he wasn't wearing one.
And that's another thing. Have they, I think the call has been made now through Candace to produce that audio. Where is the live stream audio? Because if that's the case,
where is the live stream footage audio, any of it? Because she's never even been able to get an answer as to where that was being streamed or streamed to.
Because if he was shot in the neck, there would have been no reason why the microphone would have been damaged or interrupted in any way. Am I right?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, another thing. And so, and remember what Barron said the other night, the insider told him that the video behind Charlie, the government has had to access it through TPUSA. And just so everybody's aware, that creates real chain of custody. Yeah, that creates real chain of custody issues too, right? Because
they're not going to be able to use that. There's no way they shouldn't.
They shouldn't, because again, you have a party, or a victim party, I guess, in that sense, right? That has access to this, the impetus that it could have been doctored or manufactured or
no way.
Mishandled. Yeah, they shouldn't be able to use that.
If that footage shows up in court, we got problems.
Well, but then we say too is that, well, it might be good for the defense. Maybe that footage shows.
Get it all thrown out.
yeah. Maybe that footage shows to some expert that this wasn't a gunshot.
Right.
Perhaps it doesn't. And so, in that vein, it might be good for the defense, and maybe that's why they.
But I have not ever heard anything about that microphone being in as evidence, collected as evidence. It's not on that list.
No, not on the hearing list. No. Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, none of it. The probable cause. None of it. Anything that addresses any of the evidence collected, that was not part of it.
Yeah.
Along with the necklace or the cell phone, and the list goes on and on. It never mentions his clothes. That shirt would be the probably single most important piece of evidence there could possibly be. But guess what? It's it probably was destroyed that day. Why would they not have his shirt in evidence?
Yeah, no, that's right.
Did you
And
hear
with
what
the
did you hear what Candace said about Brian Harpo offering to Sean Ryan for his museum? You know,
no, what's a
his little fanny pack that he was wearing. Because see, so everybody like he's got like basically a museum, and a lot of times people, you know, he gets a lot of famous people in there, whatever big names. They come in and they'll donate something, and he'll put it on the wall. Brian Harpo, and specifically mentioned the blood, offered to donate or give him his little fanny pack that he was wearing that day that had Charlie Kirk's blood on it to put up on his wall in there. Yeah. What about that? Now,
dude, that is morbid.
why was that not evidence?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
does he still have a fanny pack that has Charlie Kirk's blood on it?
yeah. I would, yeah, absolutely. And I would, obviously, there's a lot of people who think that this thing was all staged, right? And so I'm sure they would like to get a hold of it and do a scrape and do a test to see if it's actually Charlie's blood. You know. But yeah,
Which at
no,
this
that
point I
definitely
figure it was. I mean, you know, that would completely rule out the he's still alive people though.
hmm Yeah, it would. And to the extent that Brian Harpole
And I think
doctored
since
that
he
wound.
offered it, that to me basically proves that that is not what happened. I don't think he's that dumb. I mean,
Oh yeah,
if that was the case and he was hiding out somewhere, I don't think he could say, "Here, you want this? It's got Charlie's blood on it," knowing that the first thing somebody's going to do is test it.
well, that's true. That's true. No, I mean, I get. I think you're right in that, but I will say this: like with him trying to go on there and explain, dude, all those people should have gotten an attorney from day one. Like
I know.
why they went
Instead
out
of
there
going
and
on,
made all these public statements, dude. Yeah, they should have gotten an attorney, man. Like regardless.
yep. Hopefully they'll need one before it's over with. I just can't believe that.
I get it, man. I get it. Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
look. If you have to, use self defense, whether you shoot somebody, whether you kill them or not, just whatever, you can expect to be taken to jail and going through the whole thing. You're gonna have to have an attorney. It's gonna be a huge.
mhm.
I mean, like if somebody is killed on your watch, I mean, you would think that there would be at least some level of scrutiny. Maybe it's not automatic handcuffs, but like, I mean, you would think that somebody is killed under your watch like that you would be looked at pretty hard and heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was already before he went. I mean, you got to think about it. The reason he went on there was to quote unquote dispel suspicions related
Oh
to
yeah, all
him
he
and his
did was
team, right? So
he
right
didn't help.
there,
He didn't help matters.
yeah. So again, there was good reason. He had a good indication that getting an
There's
attorney would
rules.
have been a
I can't
decent
break
idea.
the rules.
Yeah,
Can't break the rules.
yeah,
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go do some real work. I got to go to my real
yeah,
job.
man. Me too. Me too. It's
Um,
good meeting up with you today, though,
yeah.
and glad to be here. And I hope everybody's getting a good firm understanding of what's going on with the court case. I will be publishing a video today talking about the multi-agency cover-up, that Baron
Mhm.
mentioned last night. Just going into that a little bit. But yeah. God bless everybody for showing up, and thanks for having me.
I've been keeping an eye on the chat. I know you got at least several new subscribers here in the
Yay.
last few minutes. So
Yay. And I see my people. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't see the chat as good. I'm on my phone, but I see Lisette. I see Debbie.
yeah, you got Susan.
So God bless y'all.
Matt
Susan,
Booth,
how y'all doing?
Licit. Yeah, you got and a whole bunch of others. Got a bunch more
Yay.
recent ones in here. Shauna, you'll be seeing them in your chat, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
Um,
God bless. Thank y'all.
well, yeah, sounds good. I appreciate you jumping on. We'll be in touch, and maybe we'll
Okay.
do us a stream again Friday night. So,
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, man, I'd love to do it.
yep. As long as everybody's, I know you got a bunch of stuff going on, but we'll be in touch on it.
I think I'll be able to swing it. I'll be in touch with you.
All right, buddy. Sounds good.
All right, man. God bless, man. Y'all have
All
a
right.
good week.
See you, buddy. You too.
Bye bye.
All right, guys. What about that? That was Mr. Greg hanging out at the cabin of the resident attorney. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to go do some real work. I appreciate everybody coming out, especially, or not especially, but I appreciate all the new people coming in here, some new subscribers. Thank y'all, and we'll be looking for y'all in the future. This is a great, great community here, and we are very happy to make y'all part of it. So, I'm gonna go do some real work. Let's plan on. He lives in North Carolina. He's originally from Texas, Penny, if you're talking about Greg. But yeah, share, please. Subscribe, anybody that is not. Make sure you like the video, please. At one point, we had over 80 watching, so hopefully we'll have 80 likes when this is over with, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, thank y'all very much. Be watching for a thumbnail and a scheduled live for in the morning. We will catch y'all then. So thank y'all again. Love everybody, and I will plan on seeing every one of y'all back right here real soon. Thanks.